we're seeing a great example here. It's just flawless all around.
Yeah, when you are getting returned over and over and you just can't quite seem to get out and the snipes are landing from the opponents, it's just, it frazzles you. Obviously great players stay mentally tough regardless of that, but when you just nothing is falling your way, it's hard to stay tight and stop and not make any errors.
Yeah, you just want to play a little more aggressively when things aren't going your way.
Yeah. It's also more of the heat of the moment. Like, this is the muperball. This isn't like a regular season game. You're just kind of feeling your way through it. This is the big times right now.
Yeah, this is the whole shebang. Stu, return for cap snipe is missed. Wonder if that juke juice potentially threw off his alignment leading up to that snipe.
Yeah. Just take a look at the Twitch views right now. We have 146 viewers at the moment, which is pretty awesome.
Thank you so much for coming to watch, guys.
He's coming in with 3 beat right now. No boost to snipe him. And that'll be a cap.
Yep.
More solid defense by the Probots. What can I say?
It's a 10-1 game so far.
Wow. So that is truly how you answer getting capped on first. You know?
Not letting them caps. That's 10 unanswered caps by semi-probot. Or
Stu's
from
out past 2 again. He's trying to take the bomb lane. Pushes him into Build a Cat. Not intentionally, of course, but wrong place, wrong time. Pinokes has a rolling bomb, though. Helen Keller just staying alive. Desperately. Ted's not going to be able to get that return alone, and you can't really blame him on a map like this with so many little spikes to move around.
Yeah. Although I don't think he's in a position where he needed to precisely get it, considering the score of the game. But definitely, you do have a point.
Oh, beautiful boost from Helen off that corner to get the return.
Anything to take away from that game, that return was pretty good.
So, 36 seconds left in Game 1, Half 2 of the Mooper Ball, and it is a commanding victory by the Semi-Probots.
Absolutely. This game started off strong for small caps, but they quickly lost the hold on it, and Semi-Probots just ran away with it.
Yeah, there was another double grab from the small caps, and yeah, I mean it was a great handoff, and it looked like Builder was out of base, but it was shut down, and very quickly that handoff strategy becomes a double flaccid.
Yep.
So looking at the stats at the end of the game here, we have Pinokes with 4 caps, just leading the way for his team. Walrus now taking the lead after Cripple gets subbed out, 12 returns, really just holding down the fort for a full 10 minutes on a map that can be tough. Of course, you have them in base and velocity, everything's fine. It's a small little base, but once they get out, returning is not easy.
No, velocity is, for such a small map, it is very chasey.
With boost lanes everywhere, it makes it all the more fun. Especially for deep offense has to really keep moving, or else they might get picked off from the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, so any final thoughts about that game, guys, before we go into replays?
Ouch.
That Probot, what can I say? They definitely probably one of the better ones that we've played, that FS Ballers played of all seasons. So you're seeing it here.
Yeah.
Was that 5-1 for the second half as well? So
5-0.
5-0.
That was a shutout.
That's a 10-1 game.
Yeah. Really. So we're gonna stay on Origin for the first half of the next game. But before we do, let's roll the highlights for you guys.
Yeah, definitely. So the theme for this half definitely was the just runaway offense from the Semi-Probots. Here's a first cap with Peanut taking the power-up advantage with the first cap. We did see some early attempts to stop the regrab train. Sarian or Pavlov's ball here with the return. Next, we've got some 3v4 action from the Probots. They had some substitution troubles at the beginning of the half. Maddie was trying to come in for Cripple and didn't actually work out, but the Semi-Probots were unfazed, capped 3v4 actually a couple of times. Peanut here with excellent presence of mind to get a Rolling Bomb and able to keep that power-up advantage alive. Juju's and Rolling Bomb. He has some trust, sits there on the flag, is able to get it. Great communication by the Semi-Probots. Ted with some great boost returns here, and Stewart coming in with another boost. able to get around the defense, or offensive defense, and get a cap. Next, we've got the semi-pros with a bomb return. It shows some good composure here. Walrus able to return Usarian with that bomb. At this point, the small caps were just fighting to stay alive. We got some nice, I think this is a nice boost return by Stu here. It's kind of a blind boost, going to able to take out Pavlov's ball. Just what you were saying, the defense just has some presence of mind, able to keep things going. Here's an easy walk-in cap with a triple block from the semi-pro bots. Peanut has no trouble just walking it right in. Helen a little too late with that bomb. And last, Helen has a fantastic boost off a corner to return Stewart here. If you'll take a look, excellent. It shows they haven't given up. I think the next half we're going to see some kind of a reset from the small caps. I don't think they're down and out. I think they're going to be able to have a pep talk in the halftime and be able to at least make it a game.
Yeah, I'd be interested to see what's going on in the small caps room right now, how they're talking about handling this second game and switching things up. I'm not sure if they're going to be switching out players as much as switching strategies a little bit.
Well, as Luan Sanuku once said, sure, it's a 0-0 game, so treat it like one.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so we're just about ready to get underway here. Both teams collecting themselves during the halftime. Just for you folks who are just turning in, this is the Season 6 Mooper Ball between the Semi-Pro Bots and the Small Caps. I am Swergonomics, and with me doing commentary, we have Nilfin and the Bob18. And of course, very important, we have running the stream with these beautiful overlays and the halftime reports, and with the great pregame leading up, we have the Aaron 215 running the stream. Thank you, Aaron.
No problem.
All right, both checking in with both teams. It looks like we have the semi-pro bots needing another few seconds to perhaps decide who's playing or go over strategy at halftime.
And we see that small caps, both teams sticking with the lineups from that second half, with Ta in for Cripple.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, same steady four from the small caps from the last half. Usarian, Pavlov's ball, Bill the Cat, and Helen Keller really need to put their heads together and come up with an answer, because that was very quickly brutal.
Yeah, interesting that they are subbing in blah blah blah, because he's one of the other defenders that have been really putting up a solidly good season, even though he hasn't really gotten a lot of the hype.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we're here. We're in the championship. We potentially only have 20 minutes left unless they can answer. Overtime is always fun to see, but it's really going to require a lot to bounce back from that. Of course, to get here, they are very capable. Do you guys see any specific things that you think the small caps could change? It's easy to say that they didn't get power-ups. It's easy to say that they just, their grabs weren't staying alive as longer, but was there any positioning issues, or were there any strategies that weren't working? I didn't see them do regrab defense very often.
And I think I'm wondering if they're going to try a much harder anti-regrab this second game. And, I was thinking about that in the last half, that maybe they should try that out to see if it works. But if they tried it out to see if it worked and it started working, they'd have semi-pro bots would have a chance to actually get used to it, whereas just springing it on them at the start of a fresh game gives them the chance to actually get a few caps off of it before semi-pro bots are able to adjust.
Mm-hmm. It's difficult because that person who's playing regrab defense, they've got to be able to trust that their teammates, just the three of them ahead, can get the return that's needed, and it really requires a lot of trust in the teammates.
Well, the main trick with anti-regrab, yes, if their flag is in base, you've got three people chasing, but if both flags are out, your flag carrier actually becomes a chaser. Mm-hmm. Your flag carrier is no longer the guy that you want. You don't want him necessarily coming into cap. It would be great if he could, but it's up to him to help contain and return the other flag carrier so that your regrab can pick up the flag and you spawn in base with your other defender, and so you've got 2 on D now, and hopefully your flag coming in, and then your other defender ends up going on regrab. So basically, you end up with a lot of rotation and people playing out of position, but it can work really well if you've practiced it.
Yeah. So we see that strategy on Holy See sometimes. We see it on Velocity. Any other maps that's a common strategy on?
I would say any map that's really chasey that works really, and that you can cap quickly on. Blast Off,
Yeah,
I think
Blast
that would
Off for
work
sure.
really well on. It works well on a surprising number of maps. I would say it would also work well on Bowtie's map. I'm blanking on the name of it, but that's in pub rotations right now.
Is it one of the new ones?
It's not one of the new ones. It's one of the recentish new ones. The one with the gate right above or below base.
Let's see. Perhaps the chat can help us out on this one.
In 30 seconds, I'm sure they'll be telling us what it is.
Oh yeah, they'll be, and we appreciate that.
I feel like if the small caps prevented a little bit better. I mean, I feel like I have kind of a theory that the first 1 to 2 minutes of any game is really important because you need to get your offense set, and the only way the offense can really get going is if the flag's in base and they don't hear that sound of the other team grabbing.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely. It's when you hear, at least a good offense guy, when he hears that flag grab, he backs off a little from his attempt at grabbing and waits to get a feel for whether he needs to switch to full offensive D and get in the right boost lanes. I mean, it also is, if you switch to that for just a little bit, it's a good opportunity to get a grab off, and you'll see some of the really great players making grabs that you would think would be ridiculous. Why are you grabbing? But when defense is blocking, that's often the best time to get a grab and get out of base.
Great. Thank you for your patience, guys. We are ready. Both teams are ready to get underway for the Muperball Season 6, Game 2, Half 1. If you're just tuning in, we had a 10 cap performance from the semi-pro bots over 1 cap from the small caps. Really dominating, and we're looking for an answer from the small caps.
And Cripple was back in for semi-pro bots. So they are both going with their starting lineups again.
Ted being subbed out. Good performance in that half. Didn't do anything particularly flashy, but kept that momentum going for their team.
Was really impressive that minute they played 3v4 that they didn't allow any caps.
And they got a cap.
Yeah.
So power-ups, we've got 2 tag pros on the map, potentially 1 to each team if everything falls the way it usually does, and then a rolling bomb and a juke juice. Potential slight advantage going to the semi-pro bots again. They've, I'll say it, they've had a little bit of luck with power-ups off the spawn, although I don't think they've necessarily capped off of it any of the times. Yep, tag pro for each team.
yeah, and semi-pro bots smartly keeping the tag pro on defense.
Wow, Stu ignites the rolling bomb, and the momentum from that lets Cripple get past 3, but Helen Keller, great boost to grab, dies in the end, but does enough to prevent that cap for the time being. Bill the Cat on the button, not falling for it.
And here comes another regrab chain for the pro bots.
Yeah, I mean, we're early in, but the status quo looks to be upheld so far.
Yeah, we don't see much of a change in the small caps strategy here.
Yep, no regrab defense, but a great snipe by Helen Keller to get the reset. That's what happens when you die too close to base.
Yep.
Power up battle. Wow, 3 juke juices out of 4 going to the semi-pro bots. That's just another sign of early domination. Of course, the score is still 0-0. We still got 20 minutes to go. Everything's available.
But it's funny because a juke juice on defense is almost as good as having a tag pro on defense in terms of keeping the flag in base. Because it's really hard to get a grab off when someone has juke juice on you.
Absolutely. Barring a snipe or a bomb to give you that extra momentum to push through them, it's difficult.
Yeah, I even when I've captained minors, I've kind of preached not to grab when the defense has juke juice.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it could be 2 flaccid, and then they may or may not be ahead. So
Yeah, Stu barely gets that return and is now potentially out past 2 on his own. But a little bit too tight in there. Cripple right in front of him, desperately trying to get out of the way, but in the end, sending him into a chaser.
Bill just sneaks right in through.
He's got one more to beat, but Helen Keller can't quite get that return in time. Yeah, Walrus is out, and both flags out of base right now. It's an improvement. Instead of just playing a defense, last minute defense against the chain, they now have the flag out themselves. But as we say that, no regrab due to Pinox's tag pro and a cap for Walrus. Chipping in from defense.
They're gonna get a reset here finally. Both teams.
Yeah, not before some early damage is done. Bill the Cat and Helen Keller need to make a difference. Another round of power-ups pretty soon. Maybe time for one grab more before that. It didn't really amount to much, and look to see people fight for power-ups now. Bill the Cat snags it. Helen Keller gets the right. 3 out of 4, it looks like, if Yossarian does successfully get it. Yep, 3 out of 4 go to the small caps. It's a sign of life.
Unfortunately, Bill the Cat didn't wait enough for his tag pro to get there in order to grab, so now he's forced to go flag pro.
Yeah, Helen Keller doing very good, but has a lot to do. He does manage to get out past a few. Ooh, just narrowly skirting around that boost. Can't quite tell when he was actually trying to boost and whether or not it happened or if that was intentional. Great button by Cripple. Sends him into his teammate, Walrus. But Bill the Cat's out of base. Walrus and Stu should have this contain on the right side, while Helen Keller and Pavlov have it the similar contain on Peanuts.
And it looks like it's going to be one of those times where the teams are just going to trade shots with flag carriers.
Yeah, both chains looking pretty solid right now. Nobody's doing regrab defense. We do have another round of power-ups, though, potentially shaking it up. Sarian should be able to hit that snipe. Does. Bill the Cat is out. He's got a rolling bomb. He didn't quite hit that boost perfectly, but a good rolling bomb gets the tie. Great. There we go. That's a cap, and that's a desperately needed cap, just for momentum's sake, I think.
Yeah, that's their first cap in over 20 minutes of playtime here.
Wow. And it's certainly what they needed, as Pavlov is coming in again. Sarian wants to get that return, but with 3 players there.
Oh, and this is the problem with having one of your D guys of carrying the flag. Offense worries more about offensive D than getting the reset. Because if I don't remember if I think it was Bilda should have probably come in to help Yas contain there a little bit better, and they might have gotten that reset.
Yeah, that's one of those things that having versatile players really, gives a boon for, to be able to have players who play offense, who play defense, who know when to do everything and know how to contain.
And getting that power up cost them a cap.
Wow. Yeah, Stu's.
That's definitely the dangers of that power up. Leaving base. Oh.
Almost a counter cap there. Revenge cap was the common phrase of the day yesterday. We haven't seen any of those yet so far in this minors game.
Well, unfortunately, the small caps haven't had a lot of chances to get revenge today.
No, but they are underway with a 2-1 cap lead.
Yeah.
That's frankly makes me happy, to see some signs of life after that dominating performance. And now both flags are still out of base, and it looks to be anyone's game with 4 minutes to go in this half.
Yeah, it looks like another round of power-ups coming. Pavlov's picking up a tag pro. That could be. Oh, I guess not. That was under a nice bomb by Walrus.
Yeah, that facilitated both a return and a kill of a tag pro.
Pav with a little save for Build-A-Cat there as he almost got bombed into a spike.
Tag pro going to the other side. Walrus looking to spawn and clear out base. Cripple, solo return, potentially resulting in a cap. But Pinox playing it safe, leaving, making sure this regrab, and spiking himself. Curious, there was no one on his tail. Looked like a lag issue, but I'm not quite sure.
Yeah, well, considering that he's Now the
He
bottom
called lag.
saying lag
He typed lag.
definitely confirms that suspicion. Yeah, looks like we got a stalemate at the moment. Both teams with the flag out.
Good return by Helen. Stu though out of base. Yeah, just these chains. Nobody playing regrab defense. There's not a lot of signs of these chains ending anytime soon. Stu though has a rolling bomb. There's a little bit of edge. He's moving in towards base, and we have a spike from Pavlov's ball.
Oh.
Stu gets it. Wow, that's a combination of a few things. An error in Pavlov's ball dying, who was ahead, and then just
And Yas
great
needs to get
communication.
there.
Yeah, Stu he's
Peanut
got that
paused
rolling
there.
ball. He gets in close though. Just he's ready for the
Uh-oh.
opportunity.
Great return by Helen.
Helen Keller.
And there it is.
Wow.
Small Caps with the lead again, 3-2 with 2 minutes left in the first half.
Fantastic. This game is going both ways now. We've got caps coming in from both teams. It's end to end. Great tag pro. Bill the Cat, potentially pass forward. Cripple's got a lot to do with the tag pro there. Walrus there catches up. Tag pro runs out. And you suspect that they'll be able to hold off this cap. No, the blocks are so solid. Wow. Just like that, 2 minutes to go. 2-cap lead for the small caps. Great play. Great blocks.
And this is classic Small Caps tournament coming back after a rough first game to show signs of life
Yeah.
and force a overtime game.
Stu can't quite get out of base. Some desperate grabs. Cripple wants the kiss. Walrus is in his way when he could have escaped. He's going to get into that corner and hang on for dear life. And it works. But Bill the Cat has a rolling bomb and is looking to come into base. Maybe even with Superman if he's wise to the right side of the map.
Good
Nope.
teamwork to getting Cripple outside of that corner there. That was a basic communication and key blocks for him to get out.
Yeah, once you're in there and there's two people around, it's not easy to get out. Great teamwork. It takes a village.
Oh!
Ooh! Great return by Stu. Last second, preventing the cap.
It's so hard to boost with a rolling bomb and get that cap.
Cripple! Oh, the timing was so close for Cripple to get a last second return leading to a cap, but in the end, the .25 was not aligned. And we've got a reset, potentially for both teams. Nope. Pavlov making sure to keep his chain alive. Cripple having none of it.
Yeah, Walrus had a tag on the left side, and if Canucks took an extra couple seconds to wait for Walrus to get set up, I think that could have been a cap or the semi-pro bots.
Yeah, so Pinocchio is just one-on-one. Defenders have not been able to rein him in. And, that's somewhat typical from, competitive tag pro. One-on-one. I'd say this is a minor advantage to that offensive player. Wow! Last second cap from the small caps at the death to open up a 3-cap lead. My God.
And that's the signs of life we were hoping to see from Small Caps. They didn't actually change their official strategy. I think they just played a lot better.
Yeah, we asked for it and we got it. Wow. 3 caps. Not quite the 4-cap lead that the semi-pro bats had going into half 2, but man, if that's not answering, I don't know what is.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I think they've poked the bear, and I think it's finally awakened.
Here's something to discuss. We did start with the origin half, and we are now moving to sphere. So we had a slight server advantage, a slight ping advantage going to the small caps there, potentially playing a part in that half.
Absolutely. It's going to be interesting to see what happens here as we move to a more Probot friendly server.
Yeah, any final thoughts before we move into the highlights, guys? Like you said, they didn't look to play a lot different. There wasn't any regrab defense. There was just tighter play.
I want to see these highlights. There were some great plays that half.
Absolutely. All right, you guys ready?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, here we go. We're going to start out first with a cap prevent from the small caps just to stop this from going. Cripple's got a sure thing, and Helen boosts in at the last second with a tag pro to prevent the cap. Again, in the same kind of vein, Helen snipes in to prevent a regrab train from going. Able to get a great snipe here on Stu. Not able to get out of base, which prevented the regrab train. which would have possibly led to a runaway situation again. Last man return here for Stewart. Helen is away with the flag. Stewart's fighting his way to get into base. Cesarian's blocking him out. Stewart's able to cut around, get a return right there to prevent the first cap of the game. Power-up control continues for the Probots, and it leads to the first cap of the game. The rest of this, the beginning of this game, definitely was Probot advantage with power-ups. All right, Walrus blocks a booster turn here. Presence of mind that you don't see in stats. Walrus blocking Pavlov's ball's boost there against Peanut. Walrus did that all game. First cap in 20 minutes for the small caps coming right up. Build-A-Cat with a rolling bomb. Stu hoping to prevent with Tag Pro, and able to do it. Build-A-Cat walks right in. The Probots go in for a power-up here in the small caps. Cap because of it. Walrus had some presence of mind to clear a bomb, but it didn't work out. Stewart was going for that rolling bomb. We've got some Stewart presence of mind again that leads to a cap here. He's watching Pavlov's ball there. He's going to send him away to get that rolling bomb. That rolling bomb actually leads to a cap, which we'll see in just a second. He uses that rolling bomb. I'm sorry, you're going to see a repeat of a couple seconds because they happen so close together. Stewart's taking his time, waiting for the return. Good communication. Stewart's able to bomb Helen Keller out of the way and get the cap, and also get a return. Next, you're going to see a small caps cap again. Helen with some excellent movement to get out of base, able to boost just right, blocked out, Build-A-Cat up there to get the return. Another small cap. You got some great blocks here at the end. Fantastic blocks. Walrus is getting blocked out by Yasarian, and gives him just enough room for Build-A-Cat to go around the top and get a cap. Stu at the last second return here almost led to a cap, but it was barely prevented by a small cap grab later on. That wasn't in the highlights. Good grab by Stewart to prevent that Build-A-Cat cap. And a last second cap by the small caps to increase the lead 5-2 for this game. Helen able to juke out Stu. Just a perfectly timed return by the small caps.
Thank you very much. So we are going into Game 2, Half 2. Momentum certainly in the small caps' favor. Just to break it down for you guys, if this game is tied up, we will go into overtime period. If we are tied up at 1 game each, we'll go into a 10-minute game with 2 5-minute halves. So looking in the group, we've got both teams ready. Just going to double check with them that they're ready to go, but we're going to be underway for Game 2, Half 2 soon.
And what do you guys expect for this half? Do you expect more of the same, or do you expect the Probots to push back?
I have no idea what to expect at this point, honestly. Both teams able to just pull it out and, race off on the cap train. So it's really going to be interesting to see who gets off on that first and gets away with this second game.
Yeah, Velocity is such a momentum match. And we are underway. The game's loading up for you guys, and hopefully we've got a tag pro or two. Yeah, really good game so far. So happy to see that both teams are really pushing and getting caps, and yep. My suspicions were confirmed. We have 3 tag pros and a juke juice. Potentially 2 tag pros going to the semi-pro bots. Interesting to see if they'll split those up or send both on offense.
I would say split them up, although sending them both on offense does have the advantage that you can kind of kill one, grab with one, and even just kill one in spot.